Minister Fréchette, thank you for making the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Your government is now asking Ottawa to reimburse $1 billion to cover the costs of the growing number of asylum seekers in Quebec. What is the response you've received from the federal government in the last number of days?
Well, we have received so far a partial response. What I mean by that is that the federal government has confirmed that it will be reimbursing Quebec government for the temporary housing part of our expenses, but we are still waiting for an answer for the rest of the sum. Because, you know, we have many services that are being offered to asylum seekers. For example, we offer last resort financial help. We offer education, primary school, secondary school. We also offer judicial help. So there are many services being offered, and we are asking the federal government to reimburse Quebec because we have had important expenses during the last 3 years. And for the expenses that were assumed by Quebec between 2017 and 2019, the federal government has reimbursed Quebec with a fair share of our expenses, but we're still waiting for an answer for the last 3 years.
The federal minister, the Quebec Lieutenant Pablo Rodriguez, spoke on Thursday and said that there are regular meetings about this. They're happy to have conversations, but he also pointed out that the federal government pays for the health care for asylum seekers, pays for the housing for asylum seekers, and does other things. So are you saying that Quebec is not willing to pick up any of the costs associated with asylum seekers?
In fact, we have picked so far many costs. These costs amount to $1 billion, and we are asking the federal government to reimburse Quebec because it is the federal responsibility to take charge of the asylum seekers. We are having 55% of asylum seekers in Quebec. 55% of those being in Canada, and it's really too much for our capacity. We are offering a very generous basket of services to asylum seekers, and we are proud to do so, but with the number of asylum seekers arriving each month, we've had 65,000 of them during the year 2023, and it's putting a lot of pressure on our education services, health services, housing as well, and in many other ways. And we cannot sustain that rhythm of arrivals because of our lack of capacity. And so we are asking the federal government to reimburse us, but also to distribute all asylum seekers among the country, the Canadian country, because so far Quebec has had too much important share of the asylum seekers arriving in Canada.
One of the things that you're also doing, Quebec's Court of Appeal ruled earlier this month that asylum seekers have a right to use subsidized daycare, the CPE, in the province. There's now a request to stay that appeal court ruling until the Supreme Court renders a judgment. When Minister Rodriguez was asked about that, he found that was not fair. That meant that Quebec was not treating children fairly, whether they were asylum seekers or children born in Quebec. What do you say to that? That those children caught in the middle also deserve to be allowed to go to childcare and get care?
You know, we are doing so much for asylum seekers. Just for the last 2 years, we have developed more than 1,200 classes, welcome classes, integration classes for the children of asylum seekers. We are having 29% of our beneficiary from the financial last resort assistance. And now we've demonstrated earlier this week that our capacity to deliver services has reached its maximum. I mean, we are very near to the breaking point. So having the court imposing us to offer another type of services to asylum seekers, we're just saying that the capacity is not there anymore. We have already the most generous basket of services in Canada for asylum seekers. We are the province where the number of asylum seekers is very high and behind our capacity. And so we are saying that the capacity is not there.
Beyond resolving the financial strain on the province, and I totally understand what you're saying, there are also, or I would imagine, there are conversations about a long-term solution, namely tightening up visa requirements for people who are coming in from Mexico. How important would that be, do you think, in trying to stem the large number that are coming into the province?
It is very important, because even though the federal government would send us a check to reimburse all the costs that have been assumed by us, if nothing is changed when it comes to delivering visas to, for example, Mexicans for tourists, or distributing the asylum seekers among Canada, if that doesn't change, the problem will remain very important for us, because our capacity has reached near the breaking point. And so we are asking the federal government, and we are having discussion with them very regularly in order to make sure that the policy of visa delivering for tourists is being changed by federal government in a very short period of time, very short term, and also that the mechanism that was used last year with the Roxham Road to distribute the asylum seekers on a voluntary basis among Canada is also very important. And of course, the reimbursement, because asylum seekers is a responsibility of federal government. So we are asking the government to take his responsibility and reimburse all the costs that have been incurred.
Okay, Minister Fréchette, we will watch this story. Thank you so much for the time today. Appreciate it.
Thanks to you.